All right. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you all are having a great day, not worrying about anything, being happy. Great to see you all on this morning. Let me get our slideshow going. And it is opening slowly but surely. Okay, here we go. Screen share. All right, welcome. Friday team call. Great to see you all this morning. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Start out with some leaderboards. Okay. Now, quick note: leaderboards are going to be starting to be pulled a little bit earlier because we're doing the slideshow. We want to make sure we get that stuff uploaded, edited, all that stuff. And so normally I pulled that Friday morning. We're probably going to be moving to either early Friday morning or probably even Thursday night. So I know this leaderboard is probably leaving off some business that came floating in this morning. So apologies there. Just be aware in the future, if you want your name in lights, I would be getting your business loaded up by Thursday evening at the latest. And we'll be pulling boards probably early Friday morning or again, possibly even Thursday night. So, but part of progress. So just be aware of that. And so also be aware that if you're seeing your name not on here or numbers missing, that's probably why. So apologies for not putting that out sooner. But anyway, again, fast changing times as we innovate here. So, all right, gang, let's hit some leaderboards so far for the week. And again, I know the more apps are floating in, and will be Friday's always a big day for us. But so far on the week, 21 total applications, $15,107 APV between the base shop and the Dinwiddie agencies. Agency owners, right now we have Mr. John Paul Vetter in the lead. His group crushing it at 62,000. My base shop at 13,447. And Stella Dinwiddie, again, I know there's some business coming in there, so I'm not worried about that. They're at 1,600 so far for the week, 1,661. Top producers for our base shop in the Dinwiddie agency so far this week: Sydney Lee, 3 applications, $671. Terry Myers, 2 applications, $989. Donna Bates, 4 application, $3,803. Stacy Love, 6 applications, $335. And Mr. Spencer Cushion, number 1 in APV, although tied for app count so far, 6 applications, $5,307. We have on our key leaders leaderboard, Joanna Doibin, 22 applications, $20,694. Jeannie Gray is going to be at 12 applications, $17,383. And Eric Sullivan, 7 applications, $25,17. I know both Jenny and Joanna are pushing hard for some AO runs. So we'll give shout out and positive vibes to them on that. We have a new writer this week, Robert Toscanini, direct to Jerry Points on the Vetter team, is a new writer for the week. Love seeing those new writers. And I know we have got a pipeline of new writers just about to hit the Dinwiddie agency and the Menefee base shop. It's a pretty extensive list. So I'm going to be excited to see that coming up here in the coming days and weeks. So, all right, gang, moving on. So far, and this is month to date, so this is going to be the entire hierarchy, including Vetter, Dinwiddie, and Menefee base shop. Top 10, Wendy Cox, part of the Vetter agency, $12,343. Sydney Lee, Dinwiddie agency, $13,184. Treese Keys, part of the Vetter agency, $14,985. Donna Bates, part of the Menefee agency, $15,597. Great job, Donna, putting together quite a month there. Just barely trailing Ms. Dinwiddie, Miss Stella Dinwiddie of the Dinwiddie agency fame, $15,793. Man, that's we got less than a couple $100 there, so that's a neck and neck race. Spencer Cushion, part of the Menefee base shop, $17,695. Stacy Love, again, another tight race, number 4 for the entire hierarchy, part of the Menefee base shop, $18,032. Adam Daniel, part of the Vetter Agency, $20,501. Jenny Gray, $21,104, part of the Vetter Agency. And excuse me, Sylvia Collins, also part of the Vetter Agency, so far leading for the month, $28,124. Golden Chicken Award update. Guys, I'm not going to give you an exact number because we're going to keep a little suspense in this, but I can tell you we have 2 on this team running neck and neck. Stacy Love is going for a 3-peat, and she is battling it out with Estella Dinwiddie. And like I say, it's just a very tight margin there. I'm not going to even say who's in the lead, but we do have a dark horse. Ms. Donna Bates is hunting around very, very closely, can easily sweep in and snatch that award from those 2 ladies. So it will be fun to see how this plays out. And Mr. Cushion is actually well within striking distance. So it's going to be fun to see this come down to the end. So the most prestigious award in SFG with the Golden Chicken Award, and it is a tight race coming up to the end of the month. So you're on the leaderboard, so I would be pumping out some applications. All right, guys, top producers, month to date. Actually, we're gonna have to talk about this. You just spoil it. No, I'm just joking. She's doing a great job. Top producers for apps. So you see where you're at. I was gonna keep the suspense, build it up, but that's okay. It's better that you know where you're at and what you got to do to get there. So great job though. Number 1, Stacy Love, 23 applications, leading from the front. Again, going for that 3-peat, but I know Miss Stella Dinwiddie, never count her out, and she's probably got several apps sitting on her desk right now. She's kind of sandbagging, waiting to come in and last part of the month steal that award. And then there again, Miss Donna Bates well within striking distance. So, all right, gang, base shop so far, man, the Vetter Agency, they're on a tear, $249,000. Base shop for the Menefee Agency, guys doing a great job, $52,062. And Stella Dinwiddie, again, I know that tidal wave is coming because I see the numbers coming through. She's got a bunch of new riders, but they are already having a strong month at $34,238. And we have, I'm just checking the calendar, make sure I'm getting ready to say this right. Yes, we do have one more week. So next Friday will be the end of the month for both turn in and issue paid. So still a full week. So these numbers are going to grow, and excited to see where we're going to land here for the end of the month. We're going to put together a monster month this month. So apps so far, the Vetter Agency, 240 apps, base shop, Menefee base shop, 56 apps, and the Stella Dinwiddie Agency. Still recovering my brain here, guys. I'm still trying to put words together. 37 applications, again, a strong month from the Dinwiddie Agency as well. Quality digital lead orders. So you can put standing lead orders. So standing lead order, guys, is just basically an agreement with the company that you're going to be taking a regular lead order every week. Now you can designate how many leads that is. If that's 5 a week, 10 a week, 15, doesn't really matter. It does matter depending on what your goals are and how much you want to write. Keep in mind, leads are your inventory for your business. So you want consistency in your business. You want to be able to write business on a consistent basis. Standing lead order is a smart move. But you can also place one-time orders if you find yourself where maybe one week you want to order more, next week maybe a little less. You can do the one-time orders and do that on a weekly basis as well. So those can be placed directly in HQ. If you are set up on lead switchboard, those leads will flow directly into switchboard, but you have to have the active account. So just keep that in mind.
Chris,
and yes,
I had a quick question. So I get this was maybe 2 weeks ago on the Symmetry email. It said there was an overflow of digital leads. And so you could go into HQ and purchase them. And I went there to HQ and I could not find them anywhere. It was prompting me to place an order, to put in a standing lead order. So I was a little confused whether that was in, it said HQ, was it in opt? And they were sitting there because it said HQ. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know. I don't know in that specific case. I would say if all else fails, you can always go to opt and look in the overflow category for every lead type, or say every lead type, every A lead type. So that's typically, and of course, I'm still trying to retrain my brain to go to HQ for everything, but I have a tendency to default to opt because that's what I've done for the last 7 years. But yeah, if it doesn't, I don't know on that particular. That's a great question, though, Spencer. I don't know, and that may be a question for the leads department. I will say though, whenever they make those announcements, especially on a national call, if you have an interest, I would jump on it like right that minute, because anytime, you got to realize on a national call, they're basically talking to 3,000 agents, and if they say, hey, there's overflow, I guarantee you everybody, even though they're in the middle of the call, they've got one screen on Zoom and one screen on the leads tab trying to put their orders in. So typically when they do an announcement like that, those leads go very, very quickly. I'm not saying that's what happened in this particular case, but that also is a factor. So just keep that in mind as well. Moving on, digital leads continued. So this is exciting because we were on an agency owner call on Wednesday. They're now, they said 100 agents a day, 75 to 100 agents a day. I'm sure it fluctuates depending on how many people they've got on staff any given day in the office, but they are getting people on Switchboard as quickly as possible. Guys, the shortcut, if you want to jump to the front of the line, standing digital lead order will move you up on the wait list. So if you are new and you know that you're going to be doing this full time, and you know you're going to be wanting a steady flow of leads anyway, I would highly recommend that you look into setting a standing lead order. And again, you have control over the size of that. It doesn't have to be a huge 15, 20 lead order. It could be a smaller lead order, but just you're agreeing to take that on a regular basis. So reach out to your upline, kind of get some advice on where you're at in your journey here with the company. And we would love to talk to you and kind of put together a strategy where we can not only get you a steady source of leads, but get you on Switchboard, which, man, with some of the testimonials that were coming out of Switchboard, it's amazing some of the numbers that we're seeing. So s'mores, we would keep this front and center for everybody because this benefits all. Guys, you have, and Spencer said it great on Crew here a few weeks ago. Where can you go where you start a new position where you can give yourself a 15% raise in your first 90 days? How many of us have been in a position where they've called us in after a year and said, hey, congratulations, you're getting a 2% raise after a year of hard work, working 40 hours a week on a fixed pay scale. Not only can you go out and write your own check here, but you can also write your own raises, and we've sweetened the pot for undetermined amount of time, but for the near future. So I encourage you to jump on this at least by the end of the year. Starting now, give yourself a raise. You can see the numbers there. Normally it's a 2-month qualifier to go from one contract level to the next, but you can shorten that down to 1 month each for the 75, 80, and 85 contracts. Plus, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all that business that you write. So, guys, that's a 10% bonus on everything. So you go from 70 to 75 is a $5,000 qualifier, which would be a $500 bonus if you hit just that number. However, if you write 10,000, they'll go ahead and cut you a check for the 10% off of that additional amount. So we've seen several folks get those bonuses. So take advantage of extra money, guys. I'm excited about this one. So I signed up for the Jeremy Minor advanced training program. It is an excellent training program, high level sales training. SFG will be hosting a NEPQ, which is the name of their training. NEPQ training starting Thursday, excuse me, the 29th. I would be on these. I just tell you that, you know, short answer is be on these training calls. I looked at the itinerary for the training, and they're going to go over the entire program. Now, they're not going to go in probably as much depth. I'm going to say probably. I know they're not going to get as much depth as if you sign up for the advanced training, but the training outline is going to touch on all levels of their system, and they're getting into the specifics of the conversation, which that's the X factor for what he trains. So take advantage of this, guys. Put this on your calendar, 12 p.m. Eastern. If you're like me and you struggle with time conversions, make sure you study that hard and look at your calendar and get that on your calendar, and get it on for the right time for your time zone. Set that, block that out. I would not be setting appointments, because, guys, what you're going to learn here is going to help you in your appointments. Sometimes we have to block time out and not run an appointment so we can get better when we do get back into those appointments. In fact, not sometimes, all the time. We've got to block time out for learning and personal growth. So excited to see this. And again, having gone through part of the training and trying to get through the rest of it, man, it is it's top level stuff. Champions Cup. We have, and I don't know that we'll have leaderboards on this, but we've got some folks on the team here that will be fighting for this. I'm not going to go through all. You can get this on HQ, but this is a contest for anybody and everybody, whether you're a producer, whether you're building a base shop, whether you're an agency owner. Everybody can participate in this one. So go check that out. And some great prizes, including trips to the Super Bowl with the founders, and hanging out at the big game. Also, yeah, there's several things there. I'm just kind of eyeing this, reminding myself of all the trips and incentives that they're giving, and this is go study this on HQ, and that goes through the end of the year, guys. So still plenty of time to get in the action on this. So check out where you're at and what it takes to get in the running for this. Forrester's still running their lead credit through the end of the year. And so this is for the DFL product that they're putting out. And if you have any questions about DFL, go to HQ. It will give you a breakdown of that program. Debt-Free Life. Guys, that's a program that we've got to be talking to every one of our clients about. I like what Mike Resma is really pushing right now. There is no longer a no sale. It's just we have to figure out what we can help them with. And DFL is one of those, because we know, you just look at national statistics, everybody's in debt. Everybody wants to be out of debt. Debt-Free Life will get them there. So check that out. If you don't want to get certified for Debt-Free Life, there's still a way for you to participate. In fact, our own Sydney Lee is our DFL queen here, and she does a phenomenal job. In fact, she's working with one of my clients right now, and she plug into her and have her help you, convert more leads into business, into clients. MyQuilty, keep this front and center, guys. This program, we heard an update from Ethan on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. I lose track of time here, but yeah, this program is doing some phenomenal things. Sign up, make sure you are signed up so you can understand what it is and use it in your life. Guys, the travel discounts. I actually looked up a medication the other day for a friend, and a non-insured cost on this medication was somewhere around the neighborhood of $550. MyQuilty RX dropped it down to $225, I think. It was a 50% drop. And that's just on medication, travel discounts, dining. Guys, this is really a phenomenal program. And this is a program you share with your clients. Again, there's a note. This is where your you should get out of the mindset of no sales. You get down to the end, and sometimes clients, they're in a situation where maybe they're so far behind the 8 ball from a budget standpoint that they can't see the light of day to even take out a policy to protect their family. Well, let's hook them up with MyQuilty, no cost to them, saves them money, will free up that budget, allow them to live a better life, and possibly even get in a position where they can afford to take on some of the resources that you're giving them to help them and their family out. So guys, get in the habit every time before you end the call. In fact, Stella can talk to you about how to put sticky notes all over your computer. I would put a big one there that says MyQuilty. That's the end of your call. Every call ends with MyQuilty. Okay. MyQuilty continued. So again, and go on. If you're new and you're not really sure what MyQuilty is all about, again, we kind of highlighted it, but you can find all the details on HQ. And again, some of the exciting things I love. Actually, I remember now what they were talking about the other day. Ethan was bringing up the fact that somebody who could not afford health insurance could sign up for MyQuilty and tap into the family plan at Walmart. Guys, that partnership with Walmart is huge. That is just fantastic. They can get healthcare and no longer have to choose on who gets to go see the doctor and who gets medication. They can go, the entire family can go to a Walmart health provider and at a very, very low cost. Excellent program. You will start seeing we have invitations going out. So for the Gathering of Eagles in October, we are excited to have you all here hosting you. And if you have questions about travel, how to get there, reach out to me. I am a local guide expert. I think I'm on TripAdvisor. Not really, but I will help you out in figuring out how to get here. So reach out to me and we'll have that conversation. I believe that is the end of the slideshow. So let's pause here for some quick announcements and team leaders, key leaders, AOs. Anybody have any shout outs they want to shout out this morning to in your people announcements, etc. Donna.
I do. I
Awesome.
have somebody new on today. She just joined us. Her name is not what her real name is on her picture, but it's Tracy Cassidy, and she speaks like Stella, but when she grows up, she wants to be Stacy. So I've told her, make sure when she's on here today, watch and figure out who Stacy is. And I laughed because she said, "Oh, Stacy's my twin." And then she goes, "Did I tell you I'm Korean?" I said, "Well, did I tell you that Stacy's not white?" So we were looking at trying to compare everybody. I said, "So we've got this great mix of people. Everybody is wonderful." So I'm so thankful that she's here. But yeah, wave. Thank you. So excited to have her on. And thank you guys for welcoming Tracy.
Awesome. Welcome, Tracy. Glad to have you on the call with us. So. All right. Anybody else have any welcome shout outs? Congratulations for the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. I'm sorry, you said her name is
Tracy.
Tracy, very nice to meet you. I love you already. Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. I love your slideshow. This is awesome. I just want to give a real big shout out to Jim Arch. This guy's been on fire. He's bringing people on and they are just signing up to get tested. And so you're going to see a lot happening with the Arch Agency. I'm so proud of him. He's so amazing. And he's enrolled in the cohort. And I just think that's so important as we're announcing all of what's made available to us. I hope you can hear me talk clearly. I've lost my voice for over half the week. So I'm so grateful to have it back. Some of you may not, but that's okay. And I just want to give another shout out to Sydney because you guys, this is huge. I just can't let this week go by since it just happened this week. That this girl, she earned just an incredible bonus. She was number 2 and all of the producers in SFG in our company. And her bonus this last month was $3,703. That's on top of all the business, all the families that she took care of. Like, can you imagine being able to, you know, SFG says, here's a bonus because you went above and beyond with your business. And, you know, on top of that, I know that I think I posted something, but I was just so excited for her. PPL is incredible. It's like 4,400 something. And it's because you hear her always working her referrals, and she just has the biggest, most beautiful heart. I'm so proud of her. And I'm proud of everybody. I mean, all of you are just moving behind the scenes. You know, those of you that, you know, maybe not see it out front on the leaderboard, people are really moving their feet right now, and insurance season is open. So don't forget that. It's an amazing time right now. And if you're not on Razor Ridge Leads, get on it. I just started it. And the thing I love best about it is with my voice gone, I've been communicating yesterday. I just got my first leads come in, and I've just been talking with them. So that's just something. And also
Through text, right?
Yes, communicating over
That's
text.
an important factor there. With your voice gone, you can still communicate with your clients through text.
Yes, that's exactly right. And they're so open. I'm just, you know, able to just ask them, and they just answer, and it's amazing. And I'm super excited about, there's 2 people actually taking their tests today to go to Jatyron Butler. This guy is amazing. He's not here, but I can't wait for y'all to meet him. Super ambitious, super determined, great heart. And also to Joanna Nelson. She's up there, I think in Minneapolis. She's taking her test today. And I'm just super duper excited about this girl. Adrienne Hansen just got contracted. Super excited for her. Maybe you can send out happy thoughts and goodwill and prayers, because she actually, literally as soon as she got contracted, she tripped over her dog's bone and texted me and said, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to the hospital. Can we reschedule? I'm like, absolutely. Found out when she came back, she broke 2 ribs from tripping over her dog's bone. So be careful if you got animals. And then there's other people. Liz's sister, Alyssa, she's going to be taking her test here soon. Super excited for her. So yeah, lots of growth. I mean, I could go on and recognize a ton of people, but I'm just really, really proud of, you know, any, you know, effort. As long as you do your best at the end of the day, then that's good enough. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. I love the way you ended that. That's actually going to jive very well with what I've got to share with you today. So, I've got to shout out the late breaking news. A little birdie whispered in my ear that we've got congratulations to Brandon Hagel passing his test and getting licensed issued. Guys, that is always exciting, because once that license is in hand, you can now go out and conquer the world of insurance. Start having conversations with clients. That's all it takes, is an insurance license. So excited to get Brandon started in this business, and life-changing business, guys. Stella has some stuff to share with us this morning from AO announcements that came out on Wednesday. So I asked her to kind of talk on that a little bit. And guys, you know, so we're a fast growing company. Sometimes we feel those growing pains more than others. Several of you have experienced that over the summer. And that is, yes, thank you, Ashley. And I should clarify that, because there is a connection. Brandon is not only a new agent, but Brandon is also connected to Ashley, who happens to be admin extraordinaire and the person who is responsible for the slideshow that you see this morning. So shout out to both Ashley and Brandon. Congratulations. So, but yeah, Stella, let's have you share a little bit in some of what she's going to share will help all of us, you and home office, because Home office is asking us to help them. They're working hard to get the process more streamlined. We've had a lot of improvements since the summer. We've got some more work to do, and this is where we can all step up and help out. Stella, I'll go ahead and have you share that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to keep it really short. On our agency owner call this past week, they really stressed in asking us, the main thing was to not send out an email directly to the contracting department. If you have a question about, onboarding any of your onboarders, or you have a question about, hey, I want to get signed up with SBLI or any other carrier, please, please, please do not email contracting, because here's what happens. You're just cluttering up their emails, and it's just like a million miles long. So they're not even really going to see it. So they said, please, everything, make sure if there's one thing that you want to do, and Chris said it earlier, is utilize the Zendesk, the HQ. You go into HQ, and at the bottom left, there's support. Put your support ticket in there, please. If you have a question, maybe you sent something else. Maybe you sent out a request to contracting, and it's been a month and a half, and you're like, I haven't seen anything on it. Don't put another ticket in it. Go back to your ticket and simply reply to that original ticket. It's going to be easier for everybody to follow the path of what you're needing to accomplish with them. And it actually triggers it to open it back up. So on that same sense, they also asked, as wonderful and as gracious as you all are, and as much as they appreciate your thanking them, they said, if they send out, a note, please don't send them thank you. I know, Sydney, you're like me, and we like to send thank yous. Don't send thank you. Just let it go, because if you send a thank you, now you've triggered them to another light opening up that same ticket. So just let it go. Anytime you open up that previous ticket, it triggers it to open up. So use it for the purpose of following up with whatever issue you're trying to get resolved. Jim and I did that yesterday or the day before, and it worked out really well. And then speaking of SBLI, if you're just remember that if you haven't received an email from them, they do require you to have E&O. Some of you know this, some of you don't. So just please remember that. John Hancock and SBLI, just so you know, you don't have to ask for those, because every Tuesday, contracting receives a list from all of the agents that have written 3 applications. So know that, if you're wondering, hey, I want to get signed up with, I'm brand new, I want to get signed up with all these carriers, that's not going to happen. You're going to get signed up with enough carriers, and many people will tell you, people like me, there are many people here, and Ashley Tarr, John Paul Vetter, we all started with just 1 or 2 carriers. And you want to, as Chris used to say, you want to master one before you go to the next, because that's going to make you more knowledgeable, confident, and stronger in your ability to help families. But back to those 3 apps requirement, they brought up a really good point. Doug Zay said that, it really costs the company a lot of money and time and effort, the paperwork, the labor, the people that go into. Imagine we have like over 5,000, agents, and we've got new agents coming on. Like, we are growing. There's still not enough of us to help all the families out there. But on the point of the cost, it costs them a lot of money to the time from the insurance carrier, from contractees' time and effort. They're trying to get to everybody and help everybody. So think of it this way. If you want to get contracted with more carriers, all the more reason to be motivated and inspired to write more applications, because it's kind of like a dual investment. You invest in your business with us, and we are going to invest back into you and your business. So it takes 3 applications as a requirement to get that trigger to go to contracting. They get it every Tuesday, and then that's what will trigger them to get you set up with John Hancock and SBLI. And then Mutual of Omaha. This was really awesome. Do you want me to cover that real quick, Chris, for anybody who has new agents wanting to sign up their first piece of business with Mutual of Omaha?
So I would suggest on that, there is a path. If you haven't got your onboarding from Mutual of Omaha yet, and you want to write business, you've got somebody that you're ready to go, reach out to your agency owner. We've got the steps to do that. So I think for time's sake, let's kind of keep that on an individual basis, because that's not going to be pertinent to everybody.
Okay.
One thing I will say, Stella, to clarify, if you're wanting to add a contract, that has to come through an agency owner. So reach out to us. If you want to add a carrier, don't submit a ticket to contracting. Again, that's going to just gum up the works. You got to come to us. In fact, I just put Ashley's email in the chat. If you have any questions regarding contracting, whether it's adding a carrier or where your contract is at, that would actually be the most efficient way to reach out. Let us do the footwork on it. Again, right now, the issue is we're trying to clean up all the tickets. And so they're finding just a ton of duplicate tickets. And that's, really what Stella was sharing, is don't be peppering them with messages, because that just triggers new tickets, and that's causing the snowball effect that we're trying to clean up right now.
That's perfect. Thank you for clarifying that, Chris. That's good stuff. Really, I think that's really all that I had. Am I missing anything, Chris?
No. One other thing I will have you share, Stella, for our new people, because a lot of new people coming on. Talk to us a little bit about
Yes, the Zoom room. Yes, that's
Yes.
right. We were going to talk about this. So you guys, I know that you heard, we were all talking about this, like a lot of us, and you've probably heard on the national call recently where they're like, man, because everything's going automated, Zoom rooms are a day of the past. Well, they're not. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why many of us find them so valuable. And because number one, it is an awesome place for accountability. If you don't want accountability, don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be about all of that. But for people like Stacy and I, we talk about that. Like, we love to just be able to have a place that, it's kind of like, okay, hey, I'm checking into the office. It's the virtual office, number one. Number two, we do all mute ourselves and we have a good time. But if you're new and if you are saying, hey, I want to hear what it's like to, what it's like for you to dial and hear that you overcome objections, hear you get rejected, hear you make an appointment, hear you help somebody, then just ask me and I'll unmute myself. I can't always guarantee it on a certain day because, a lot of times I'm also running recruiting appointments and we're just hanging out and laughing and having fun. But if you are new and you want to that, there's many of us that will do that. And also, Stacy and Joanna and I were just talking about what an awesome place of resource. I literally was helping a prior client, and he's wanting me to get a plan for him, but he's 49 years old and he's on disability, and he's healthy, but he's on disability, and he does have a little bout of Crohn's disease. And I was like, gosh, you know what? I couldn't recall of which direction to go, and I kind of had a mind blank. And Stacy goes, Mutual of Omaha, Living Promise. They start off at age 45. And I was like, yes. She's like, and they don't care about disability on that application. I was like, really? And then there was something else that happened that we were all talking about that Stacy was trying to find somebody for her military person. She found out that Home Certainty will take a person who is in active military. And so we're learning all this in the Zoom room. Like, it is such a valuable resource. And I could go on and on about it, but you know, I'd love, Stacy, if you don't mind, may I put you on the spot? And would you like to add, you know, some content to that? Because you're so amazing with that also.
Well, working remotely was something new to me. I'd always been in an office setting with people around, not necessarily in my office, but walking by, stopping by to say hello, and just the waves. And so the presence of other people just kind of kept me motivated throughout the day. And the Zoom rooms strangely could do the same thing. So seeing these little faces on a screen, whether they're like waving their hands or talking or engaged in work, just reminds me, one, I am at work. Like, this is the time I've committed to work. But two, it also reminds me that I'm not alone and that there are other people doing the same kind of work that I'm doing, and they're not distracting me. I mean, there are times when our faces are all the way in the camera, well, mine, because I can't see, but I'm looking at my screen and just kind of forget that there's other people in the background. But it's just nice to know that I'm not alone, because the cat and the dog, I mean, they're great, but they're not engaging in work, right? So I think that's really helpful. And then the things that we learn, questions that may pop up, new agents that come in that want to hear us dial or even sometimes run appointments. That's all available in those Zoom rooms. And there are a lot of people that don't like them because they can work independently without the other people in the background. And that's great. I'm just not really one of those people. And I find that I work harder and I'm more driven when I see other people that are looking like they're working hard. I mean, you know, they may be watching a video, but it doesn't matter because they're there, they're present, and they're engaged in something. So very helpful.
Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you know, our core values, the one I love is we have fun and get stuff done. And you know, sometimes when Jim and Stacy, they like to, you know, banter about their football teams between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, hey, Jim, I'm so sorry about your loss last night. Okay.
We lost Jim.
Congratulations, Stacy. I'm happy for your win.
But it's
I'm not. Just
Sounded
saying,
sincere.
Steelers fan over here.
That's awesome. But yeah, you know, this is just great camaraderie. We have fun. We learn, you know, so there's so much about it, but those are the gist of it. So like Stacy said, there's a lot of people who do really, really well and they don't join the Zoom room and they work very well independently. But we like the company. So anybody's welcome. You're always welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that service that you all put out there. And again, for those who love that connection, you know, take advantage of that. Make sure, where do they find that link? I know typically you see it posted up on Crew. Is that the best place to find that?
Yeah, we'll start making sure we post it in Crew. Right now we have a chat going of people that typically join from our team and other teams. So there's some days where there's, you know, 10 to 12 of us dialing, but I'll start to put it in Zoom based on whose room opens or in Crew.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Take advantage of that, guys. Have that, like I said, that team, that camaraderie. That's a wonderful thing. All right. Well, before we descend into name calling and arguments over football, let's get on with the content of the program here. We'll keep it short and sweet. Get us wrapped up here by the top of the hour. But title of the call, I'm sure some of you saw that and we're kind of curious. Maybe Google it. And Pura Vura. What is Pura Vura? Well, I just got back from Costa Rica last week. Some of you knew that. And Pura Vura, if you were listening to the call on Wednesday, and you all should have been, you heard Brandon kind of reference that briefly. That is in Costa Rica, that's hello, that's goodbye, that's thank you, that's I'm good, everything's great. It literally is used for pretty much everything. And translated, it means pure life. But that culture is a tropical culture, and the people down there super friendly. very relaxed, and that's their motto. Pura Vida, you see it on literally everything. Probably more so than a Coca-Cola sign. You'll see Pura Vida on shirts, hats, buildings, cars. It's everywhere. And as I looked, as I was reflecting, one of the things about being on these trips, and there's a company paid trip. I wanted to share with you all just how this journey with Symmetry very much a Pura Vida journey can be. Now, let's talk through that, because I started here full time in 2016, so I'm coming up on 7 years now in the system, in the company. In fact, October of 2015, I actually passed my test and got my license to get ready to jump back into the industry. And so by the end of the year, I was running as a part-time appointments before going full-time in January 2016. But it was 2018, so a couple years later, that we actually qualified for our first company trip. And actually attended that in 2019, which happened to be the same resort in Costa Rica. But I'll never forget having a conversation with Jacob Polk, one of the top leaders in the company, top of our hierarchy. And in that first year, Jacob is such an encourager, such a supporter. And he's like, man, I can't wait till we start hanging out on the trips. And I remember back as a new person, because that seemed like so far out in the future. That seemed like such a massive mountain to climb, and it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. But it's funny, as he reminded me of that conversation, and it reminded me as we were sitting on the beach in Costa Rica having a conversation. And how that conversation, back when it seemed impossible, came to reality 6 years later, sitting on the beach, having a conversation with Jacob about that trip. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's not to brag about the trip. It's not to say, look, I got to go on a trip. I'm very, very grateful for what we've been able to build here, and have each and every one of you as part of the team. And that's, it's one of the reasons why we qualify for these trips. But it's to tell you the same thing that Jacob told me back in 2016, that as I was taking a hike one morning that went up the side of the cliff overlooking the beach and looking out, and it's like, man, I can't wait to spend time with you each of you that I'm looking at your pictures on the screen. But one of the things about these trips is you get an opportunity to hang out around a lot of other people from a lot of other hierarchies and agencies and different cultures. I mean, we all play off the same playbook as far as the Symmetry playbook goes, but each team kind of has its own vibe, its own culture, and you learn a lot, you gain a lot from being around those people. And it's interesting. We had a lot of first-time trippers. I call them first-time trippers, first-time qualifying for a trip on that on that trip that I went on last week. And what was interesting is you had some people that literally in their first year qualified for the trip. You had some people that it was their second year. I had some people that it was their fourth year. I met one gentleman that was his fifth year in the company that he qualified for the trip. Why do I share that with you? Because you'll notice that timeline. Some people, maybe hit the fast qualifier right out of the gate, qualify for the trip. There was a couple of those there. Some people have been grinding it out for a few years. Every one of those people was grateful for the opportunity to be at that event. All expenses paid, resort trip. Obviously for the benefit of being there at the resort, being on vacation, but just as much for the opportunity to hang out and be around people like that. But I want to pause on that point, because again, there were people from all timelines. Some who qualified right out of the gate, some who've been here years who qualified. Why is that important? Well, the reward is great, but so is the sometimes the discomfort. So is the journey. And it was no, the people who qualified 5 years after being there were no less grateful than the person who qualified in their first year. There's that same level of gratitude and that same level of accomplishment and achievement. Because I know as I look at our screen here, we got some folks who are brand new, day one almost for you. Some folks have been here a few years. And some of you, I see Stella's picture who've already qualified for a couple of trips, but are looking to qualify for more. So we've got all people in between, but these company trips, again, the reward is great, but sometimes, not sometimes, always that journey is a climb up that mountain. And the greatest tragedy is the number. I look over the years, and I've hired a lot of people and trained a lot of people. We've had several come in and be successful. We've had a lot of people, unfortunately, who came in and left, and they were champions in waiting, but they chose to go the road of less resistance. They didn't tap into, they didn't tap into what was possible for them. They didn't persevere over those roadblocks, blast through those walls, and just stick it out. Because one of the things, and this sticks in my mind because it was my first conference that I went to in Raleigh, North Carolina, back in 2016, end of January 2016, as I heard Brandon Ellison, one of the founders, from stage, and they were pumped up because it was the first conference where they had 1,000 people in the room. And they were just blown away by having that many people. And we just came from a conference where we had close to 5,000. But they had 1,000 people in the room. And Brandon said, if each and every one of you will just stick it out, just stay here for 10 years, I promise you, you will all be 7-figure earners, millionaires. And I believe that now more than ever. Now, in the individual days, and some of you have been around for a while can attest to this, there are some days where I'm even sure if I'll make it to the end of the day, let alone 10 years down the road. But it takes tenacity. It takes consistency. Sometimes even bad consistency, even bad habit, but you're at least doing them over and over again until you can figure out how to get better at it. Sometimes it takes doing something wrong for a long time to figure out how to do it right. It takes personal growth. It takes a lot of faith. My encouragement to you, because as I went on that trip and I had a chance to hang out with Jacob and some of the other leaders from our team, saw Marshall Whalen there, hanging out with John Paul Vetter. I was like, man, it's going to be so great to be able to take more of you with us on this next trip, and the one after that, and the one after that, where Jacob, Tuesday night of last week, had a dinner where we actually had to have 2 long tables set up for leaders from his team, sitting around those tables, having time together in a resort, hanging out, breaking bread and having a good time. But every one of those people, again, some of those qualified in their first and second year. One of those couples were in their 5th year that were sitting at that table, but they had kept persevering. They had kept growing through a lot of challenges. So my encouragement to you this morning is as we look at this business, it is a phenomenal business. I firmly believe there's nowhere else that you can go in society today in our country to be able to earn the kind of money that we earn with really no formal education, meaning advanced level degrees, no special certifications other than going and getting an insurance license, which, we all pass the insurance test. So look at our pictures. If we can do it, I'm sure you probably can do it. For those of you who are not licensed yet, passing a test, but then digging in and just working and realizing that reward is down the road. It will happen. It will be there. if you just stick it out and believe in yourself. Even when you don't believe in yourself, believe in yourself. Because it sounds almost too simplistic for me to say, but it really is. Just stick it out until you figure it out. Now that takes a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just going to say you just hang around for 10 years. You'll have a nice check waiting for you at the end of 10 years. It takes a lot of work and time in personal development and growth. But as long as you're taking those steps, even if you feel like they're not big steps, it's as I was working with a new agent the other day, it's that that ancient saying, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and continuing on until one day you find yourself sitting on a beach with one of your mentors having a conversation about this business, about being at that point, but where we go from here. Where do we go from here? Because this company, as many of you heard in August of this year, at $250 million, is projected to be at 10 billion in just 3 short years. Guys, that kind of growth curve, if you catch the tiger, or the tail of that tiger, and just try to ride that, trust me, you will be you will not be disappointed with those results. So my message to you, I wanted this next trip to spend a lot of time with a lot of you, and let's dig in. Let's make that happen, guys. Plug into the system, plug into your mentor, plug into your upline, plug in some way, and figure out what it takes to get to the next level. It is life transforming to be able to be in a room with a bunch of high level performers and have those conversations. That's just, and the reason, again, I share that just to explain to you the importance of hitting these markers and what that does for you in your personal growth and your business. Because I could say, hey, I've made it. I went on this resort trip and I qualified. No, for me, this is the next step in personal growth and development, because I got to spend a week around other high level performers who are performing at a level much greater than us. So for me, this is on that journey of 1,000 miles. We're at step, or mile 100, but we're able to plug into those who are further down that journey. So hopefully I'm able to convey this message in a way. I feel like I know what I want to say in my head. I'm not necessarily translating that into words that are as powerful as I want them to be this morning, but I hope you get that message that's coming through, guys. This company is a Pura Vura company. It's a pure life company. It's a pure life opportunity to really create a future and a future financially, a future from personal growth and development. I don't know how many people that our conversations weren't really around business. It was around the personal development that they felt since they've been with the company, and plugging into everything that our culture puts out, from a development standpoint. The fact that we have a COO who was a psychologist, a behavioral psychologist, is helping to lead this company and helping to steer, our training and our development. What other company out there makes that kind of hire intentionally for that purpose? So guys, regardless of where you're at in this journey, and I know because I've been there, I know for a lot of you, you feel like you're trying to run through waist deep mud, and it seems like the harder you run, the deeper you sink. And I encourage you that's a natural feeling. I still feel it today. That's part of it. But I encourage you just to keep running, because you don't realize the steps and the growth that you're making. You don't realize how much closer as you run through that mud that you're about ready to hit that beach. You're about ready to go on that trip. You're just that close. If you just keep taking those steps. All right, gang, I'm going to call it good at that. Hopefully you were able to take something out of that. And guys, again, my encouragement, plug into the system, plug into the resources that we have available here, both through, your uplines, through the training. Guys, Summit, plug into that. Summit's been redrawn and redesigned to take you from a day one agent all the way up to a 120 equity partner. Let's be tapping into all these resources, and I realize there's a lot of them, and I realize it's overwhelming. Trust me, I feel like I'm behind every day, but again, just keep taking those little bites. Just keep taking those little bites and those small steps.
Thank you, Chris. It's awesome.
Thank you, Stella. I appreciate it. All
Have
right,
an
guys,
awesome day, everyone.
have a great day, and thank you all for being on.